at this point, I don't think His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his MPs, ministers, and everybody knows what really caused the issue and as it caused the crash to happen. Because at this point, say almost say black box be and yet there's no information out of the black boxer. I can say they know what they are doing at the moment and what needs to be done to retrieve the information to give to Ghanaians.
We have formally requested the Americans to come in and assist. We all know that they have considerable expertise when it comes to these matters. And so the indication we have received from the Americans is that they are very much willing to assist. We think that it is important to bring in independent experts to ensure that the outcome of the investigations will be acceptable to all, so that there will also be confidence in the process. Nobody has anything to hide, and it is important that this process is done in a very thorough manner, in a manner that will be at par with best practice, the international gold standard. That is what President Mahama wants us to achieve. So I can assure you that our note verbal has long been issued. The Americans have responded, and we are expecting the arrival of American experts soon to help us with the investigations. I can confirm to you that the Chinese have already been contacted and the manufacturers are standing by. Indeed, the briefing we have received from the Cedis is that there is a standing protocol where the black box must be, as it were, made available to the manufacturer, in this case, the manufacturers of the Z9 helicopter. And so they are standing by. But in the president's wisdom, the president does not want anything to proceed without independent experts. And I think that it is quite fair, so that we will just avoid all doubts, so that people will not raise issues of probably conflict of interest, maybe people with some kind of special interest trying to cover up and all of that. So seeing that the Americans are far removed from this process and they offer that independent expertise required, I think that we need to applaud the president's wisdom in this matter, and we need to also really thank our American partners for agreeing to assist us in this regard. And the president has said that there should be utmost transparency, and that at all steps of the way, when these experts arrive, when the investigations commence, when the investigations progress, when the investigations conclude, that
because say yes, see ye wo ye maimu na ye say ye expecter and I say ye wo any pekuo bi omutimi ye investigation and at this point a shame am I say you be go outside the country and then call experts to come into our country and then do investigation for us, which is very terrible, because it looks like say ma foreigners and I say ma outsiders are come into our system, and I say what is really going on in our country, which is very sad for us Ghanaians to face something like this. We have a huge situation at hand. 8 people died of that crash, and then now we are expecting people to come from different countries to come and solve it for us because we don't have experts in the country. This is very sad. All right, my name is Humble, and I give you guys the best videos. Let's jump into it. Few weeks ago, that tragedy case here, Ghana. The plane crash happened in 8 in the year, including the Minister of Defense and the Minister of Environment, with 6 other important people from Ghana. And since the incident in this year, may their soul rest in perfect peace. But since the incident in this year, a lot of information and about out, a lot of some and amount for air can. Obia Canada, we see we ha, we see we ha, we see we ha. But then you see free baby black box. Say information or black box remudia. Why don't you guys retrieve the black box and then give us the information that we need? Because at this point, I think, say, that is the only point of information you're looking up to. Because say the situation is say a plane crash and a kobo dream and then a crash me pretty much sure say at this point a who plane body parts, but plane a shit without even identifying say there is even something called plane crash. Our situation on a location on me. Who be videos has been leaked and never be about saying say the video and I said the thing there see and plane crashing wasn't a plane crash, but rather the plane exploded.
What do you mean? Question be say bibi ti say obi e wo saadwem pobone no a na e target president na e target wan ya
na say president be kra na wo target na wo di ade na kosim na so no anko na osuma obi a e be do be timi aka say ukoyi
there be ultimately
plane blasting free so plane blasting ya antrasi na me can't be been through the planes are crashing no ba we say abeti ho abeto from and that from na nipa mu dem na but when plane no o kono na wu ni pass e wo from nkrofo tsa pass ni kra wo from ana nipa no we the house plane na wuti mu awabo si bus eya dan na nipa na pete e bi kra koto amrem yesi miensa o sedai akoto amrem na o ma se wo ho into plane no e blast ansa na edru from e blast ansa na edru from na ya debrade asese o mahu black spot no ye wo mu bia aban enyi na bi obia ye interested ye nyina ye interested partner ye pese ye hu ye ba ya
eti ma
me ya nsa na edru from
aramo meti wase a ade no de ne ye se ekobo oduam na ade ne blast ya nsa
a blast ye boduam a abepim dua no entitin o se na manfo kita plane ne
answer make what my oche o di na wutie because me ntiase anso na won so ntiase na adekora e wo hono me wo se ye mpanifo etime ehunu e wo black box no they don't want to do it because there is secret, there is a niema amount for more behind this scene because it won't just happen just like that, and then cancellations of appointment won't happen within at the end of the minute. Him himself, he's not a big fan of boarding helicopters and that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, we forced him to board the helicopter, and then the tragedy happened. Plane crash akukuno. They tried to stop for about a couple of times, but they couldn't land. And they were helicopter anymore. They tried to land, but they couldn't land.
You say canino, or you're not being said on Quosi from Prensa, and ye. And I dear Tosuna, a Quenchana, a buyer. And some of you, Shani Bashasi, 1 man at Timono, a bit more make calls. I'm a friend of what I can want some, and then my young ye was say Mobako or Rasamo Abuaje, when you may find a cry and see it.
A dear Kwan war helicopter anymore. They were trying to land at another place no more than Mudna Punufifi, and a winter land day. And I say, Bibi now hold on to helicopter no, and then to me back from Intimilande. There is something not clicking over here. You hear information, your penny force should come out and give us the information and stop beating around the bush. And for so they are making us starve. They are starving us from the information that we need, because some people need this information to settle down their soul, to settle down their body. Why can't they come out with good information? At this point, we definitely need people to we definitely need information from them. And because right now we are going outside for people to come into our system and see, say, this is what is really going on. The same thing applies when the thing called the dollar Cedis and then dollar and the Cedis, depreciation near the buyer. And who is them say, baby? Well, if you want to see that video, I'll link in the description below. But at that time, Mahama didn't know anything that was going on. No one knew the cry dollar and depreciating. Right now, the dollar is going up. It is here, can say. And maybe it doesn't click for us to believe or trust the system. How to trust the system has been very difficult. But well, please, if you have anything, please share it in the comment section. My name is Humble. Peace out.